Hello, my friends. This is Shelly, and I want to welcome you to the 1 year anniversary episode of the Make Happiness Happen podcast. So, I am super excited to announce that we made it to a year. Woohoo! I just want to thank all of you for supporting me this year. It really has meant so much. I looked back on this journey and we've published 50 episodes and we've had close to 1,000 downloads. And all I can say is that I am just overwhelmed with gratitude. Just to know that you've been following me on this journey just really means so much to me. If you followed me from the beginning, and even if you just caught the flashback episode a few episodes ago, you know that this podcast was a dream of mine for a very long time. And to be able to say that we made it one whole year, it's really honestly overwhelming for me. I don't know. I can't even put it into words. So I just want to say thank you. My biggest takeaway from this year has really been to stop being afraid to chase my dreams. And I hope that's something that you have gained through the podcast and maybe heard my growth through that. You know, a lot of times we don't always know how the dreams and goals we've set for ourselves are going to turn out. We don't know if we're going to reach them. We don't know if they're even possible. And I just want to really, really encourage you that if you have a dream, if there's something that you've been thinking about and it just keeps coming to mind and it's on your heart, I really, really believe that those are the things we're being called to do. And I encourage you to do your research, to give it a try, to not be afraid. You know, a lot of times we may have dreams and goals that maybe we are just meant to learn something through the process. Maybe it's not that we're really supposed to totally achieve that goal or get all the way there, but every time we try something new, there are things that we can learn through that process. And so that's why I say, if you have a dream or something you've been thinking about, give it a try. You know, embrace that and look at what you can learn through that process. Okay. So that's what this has been for me. I've learned a lot. There's a lot that I am excited about for this next year because I've learned some things that I want to do a little bit different. But like I said, I'm just super excited that we've gotten here. So growing this podcast has been a great experience for me. I've learned a lot about myself over this past year. And so I want to kind of give you an idea of what I see for year 2 and what's new, kind of what's going to be different and what's going to be the same. So this is still my passion project. I absolutely love it. I still want to take you on this journey with me or walk this journey with me and with you. I want to walk it with you. But I've learned a lot about my creativity and that my creativity needs a little bit of flexibility. And when I try to put these time constraints and everything on myself, that's just a way that I really stifle. I feel like I stifle my voice. So I do commit to continuing to release a new episode each week. I want to stay consistent like that, but I'm not going to say exactly what day those are going to come out because for me, my life changes week to week and I want to give my creativity that flexibility. So I am going to shoot for releasing a new episode at the beginning of the week, but sometimes it might come out closer to the end of the week. And so I encourage you to subscribe to this podcast on whatever you're using to listen to podcasts. That way, when a new episode drops, it will pop up in your feed. And so subscribing to this podcast will be the best way to stay up to date on the new episodes. You know, I really see this podcast as a journey that we are taking together. And I picture myself as your guide. And I kind of even like to think of maybe as a trail guide. So if you've been following me, you know that I love the mountains. I love hiking in the mountains, and Rocky Mountain National Park, actually my favorite place on earth. And so we're actually planning our next vacation out to Estes so that we can do some hiking. But that's kind of how I see this journey. I picture this as a hike that we are taking together. You know, I see myself as the guide solely because I've walked the path already. I know where some of the rocks are. I know where some of the easy parts of the path are and where some of the challenges are. And I just want to share those experiences with you. We're still walking this path together. There may be new things that we encounter along the way. You may choose to take a different route on the path, or maybe you turn around and go back. You know, it's all up to you. But I like that vision of being a guide, walking there with you, pointing out some of the challenges that I've encountered so that you have the choice to decide how you want to pursue the journey in your life. For me, this has kind of been a journey from self-loathing to self-love, and I am still in the process of that journey. And that's some of the stuff that I want to share, is how I've traveled that path. I see this as a journey to living a life filled with authentic happiness. And I know you've heard me use that term a lot, authentic happiness. So I just want to be sure we're all kind of clear on what exactly is authentic happiness, or at least what's a vision of authentic happiness. So I did a little research, and one definition I found that I really liked defined authentic happiness as a positive emotional state characterized by feelings of contentment, joy, and life satisfaction, arising from a deep sense of purpose, meaning, and fulfillment. And I think one of the keys with authentic happiness is that it's not solely dependent on external circumstances. So things like wealth and your health and your relationships and all of that, it's not dependent on those things maybe that happen to us, but authentic happiness, it emerges from within. So it's through this cultivation of our strengths and our virtues and our values. And so those are the things that I really want to dive into, because our world is so materialistic. It's always about getting a better car and a better house and all this. And I think we get caught up in some of that, and we say, well, I'll be happy when I can buy that new house, or I'll be happy when I have that new car. And that's not authentic happiness. Authentic happiness is really being content and happy with where you are right now. It doesn't mean we aren't striving for more, because we absolutely are. But it's finding that gratitude and finding that peace with where we are in life. It's finding the joy in our everyday lives. It's focusing on what is good in our life right now, and working on that. So 6 keys to authentic happiness, or 6 key characteristics I found also that I really kind of like, I think it helps describe it, would be alignment with our values. Okay, what's one characteristic? Meaningful relationships, personal growth and development, living in the present moment, authenticity and self-expression, and then contributing to the greater good. So I really liked those 6 key characteristics. And those are things that, as we progress into this next year with the podcast, those are characteristics that I really want to dive into to help us really grow this life, or build this life of authentic happiness, so that we can all live a life filled with authentic happiness. Okay, so that's a journey we're going to be diving in even more to over the next year. Now, I would love to know any thoughts or questions that you have related to living a life filled with authentic happiness. Maybe you have some aha moments. Maybe you have done some things that have really helped you on that journey as well, that would be beneficial for us to share with the audience. So please feel free to email me with any questions, thoughts, suggestions, anything like that. You can email me at Shelly@makehappinesshappen.com. And that's Shelly spelled SHELLY at makehappinesshappen.com. So I'm super excited for this next phase, this next year of our journey. And I'm so grateful that you're here with us. And I look forward to the future. So until our next episode, my friends, choose to be happy. As always, thank you so much for tuning into the Make Happiness Happen podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you're subscribed wherever you listen to podcasts. And even better, leave a positive review. If you want to dive deeper into the topics and discussions we have here, I would encourage you to head over to makehappinesshappen.com and sign up for my newsletter. It's the best way for us to get to know each other even better. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time on the Make Happiness Happen podcast.